All guilty then.
Yeah.
And I've induced a lot of my friends. Even only a week ago, a very close friend, I induced, not a week ago, it's about 4 weeks ago, I induced to learn to read. You know, so I mean, no wonder I've got a catch in the heart.
Instead of with a knife or something.
Oh God. Alright. So now, I take all your guilt upon myself. Now you forget it. Alright? And I forgive you and I give you all my grace. You see, the one who carries the guilt is your ego.
Yes.
Alright?
I realize that, yeah.
And if there is no ego, what is going to carry your? Then you are me. Is it? You see, if the hand has no ego, the hand is mine. Alright, then whatever the hand does is my job. Is my responsibility.
It's releasing all over.
Heart, you have to. Put your right hand on the heart. Right. The advantage of guilt is this much, is that you correct it. That's all. But one should not allow it to be a guilt. One should, supposing this is a mistake you have committed, then if you realize that this is a mistake, then try to correct it. But if you allow it to become a guilt, you will never correct it. And you will enjoy that guilt. It's an indulgence. Your spiritual beings, all moving in linear directions in all the sides, you see. And this is the movement is achieved because of the analysis you have done to yourself. I mean, with science we have become nothing but different parts within ourselves, you see. So, like as I always say, that you have to have two doctors for one nose. From one side there's one doctor. So, but if you have one common point between all of them, like we had in India, I would say from ancient times, is God. God is the centrifugal force. That is what you have to achieve, you see. So whatever may be the movement outside, you have to go up and up towards God. You can say like a pillar it is, you can say. And on the pillar is say you have to come up and reach God. Now, for that, you may go left and right, but the attention should be on the central path, is to how to rise to God. And this is the real way a living thing always moves. See, living. Dead things move in one direction, but living things move in all directions. See. But the central thing, the central nucleus is kept intact. The whole has, whatever is the growth, has the connection with the center. And from the center the movement starts. You see. You never leave the center. And you are always coming back to the center. You see, whatever you achieve on the periphery goes back to the center. And like that, like the amoeba, whatever experiences it has goes back to the, is fed back into the center, the nucleus. So nucleus again grows, you see. It divides and then it improves and it evolves like that. So when you move on all the sides and give all that knowledge, whatever you have from the periphery, back to the center, you see. The center then starts evolving. The nucleus starts developing. The chromosomes start increasing, you see. The number of chromosomes increase gradually till you become a human being. This is the way evolution is, which is a living process. Again, it's not a process which can be brought out by thinking, which is a linear process. You see, linear process cannot bring forth the evolutionary living growth that you can see in an ordinary cell or group of cells, whatever it is. See, if there are group of cells, it will have some central point, you see. So all the group of cells will work it out, bring it to the center point, give all the thing, and the center point will also tell all these sub points in every cell, and then they will be grown. So this is the way it works out. While linear movement is singular type, and only one movement like this, you see, it has all the information, and it goes on collecting information, it never feeds back. And even if it tries to feed back, it again moves in the same direction, does not take the advantage of the rest of it. You see, this is the way the linear movement is. In mental, of course, adventures, you see what you do, you go find out something and then you feed it back, the society is fed back again, and then the society also gives you information about that problem, and then again you move in this linear way. Also on the social plane also, if you see, it works out the same way. Societies have grown also the same way. But what I mean to say, that the plane of mental activity is separated from the social activity. The plane of the social activity is separated from the spiritual activity. So there are different planes, they work on different planes. So the movement is all the time on that plane only. And there is no correlationship between all these things with the central part. Now when supposing it has to be a living process. So first human beings were born, say, in a country like India. So they just thought that we are faced with a matter. We have to know what is in the matter, how the matter is to be controlled, harnessed by, how are we going to overpower it, how are we going to use it. So the first thing they have to fix the point, because if they go too much they will drift out. So what is the point is the Ishvara, the Supreme Being. That's what we have to achieve. Then that time in the beginning they did not talk even of Shiva, of any god or deities, nothing. So this I am telling the ancient time when the Upanishads were written, when the Vedas were written. So the first problem with the man was how to harness the elements. So they started putting God there. Now God must be having his own deities in the elements. So they started finding out which are the deities of the elements, because first problem was of the elements. So then they discovered Varuna, and they discovered Indra, and they discovered all other, like for the Savita, for the sea and all that. So they discovered all the deities that are controlling the elements. In the science this is negated. Nobody believes in any deities or anything, because they thought if you have to go from God, then say supposing if you have to go from the president downward, then you have to find out up to the district level also who is the district officer. You see, if you move that way. But if you have to move from the other end, that you just go to the village, where will you land? You see, nothing. You have no information, nothing. So they thought first of all we must go to the deities of these elements. So we must excite and we must invoke the deities. So they sat down to find out what are the mantras by which we can really invoke them. So then the Shrutis were written and Smrutis were written, and they started exciting these mantras. Now simultaneously, at the same time, you see, there was also left hand side activity. This is the right hand side activity. As you know, the elements are on the right hand side. So left hand activity was, there was also bhakti. The bhakti is devotion to God, and you must worship God, and all that was there. So both things were put together, that there is a heart movement also and the brain movement. So they started going to the supraconscious areas, trying to find out about the sun, about the moon. Now this is what the Surya Mandala and the Chandra Mandala and all these things, they try to find out that what is the subtle deities which work out this movement, you see. They went up to the Anu, Parmanu. Anu is an atom, Parmanu is a molecule. They went up to that. And by the time it was Rama's age, you see, the mastery over matter was great. You know, Rama went by a plane back to Ayodhya, and they say that there were 268 gadgets in that plane, and there was no machine. See, only the gadgets that were moving. You see, they had pilotless bombs. In Mahabharata, if you read the war of Mahabharata, you will be surprised the kind of weapons they had. And vyuhas. Vyuhas is a sieges. You see, how to plan the siege. You see, how to plan a siege that the army cannot get out. Now there were only 5 Pandavas who had to fight Kauravas, who were so many of them. Apart from that, they had a big army. So Krishna was very clever. They went to Krishna and both of them said that you are equal to both of us, and so you cannot take sides. He said, it's correct, I will not take sides. So what should we do? He said, you see, we would like to have help from you. He said, alright, I am willing to help you. He said, now I can divide myself into two halves. One is myself and another is my army. Now whosoever wants me can have me, and whosoever wants my army can have my army. So, you see, like fools, this Kaurava said, we'll have your army, while Pandava said, we'll have you. And he said, yes, but one thing is, I'm not going to take, and they said the compulsion is that you are not going to take any armor in your hand. He said, I'm not going to take any armor, no weapon, nothing. I'm just going to do the chariot's job for Arjuna. Imagine. And that's how they fought the war. So because Pandavas were blessed by Krishna, they had all the supraconscious powers in them. And that's how they knew all the Chakravyuhas. Abhimanyu, you see, was a great expert on Chakravyuhas. And he heard his father telling Draupadi about the Chakravyuha, you see. And when he was pregnant, she was pregnant, and he heard it that time and remembered it. But ultimately he forgot it, you see, at the end of it. So he failed and he died. Abhimanyu was the young son. Now this Abhimanyu was the son of Arjuna, you see. Now all this shows that they were very developed people. They had pilotless bombs, they had guided missiles and all that, you see. Even Rama used to send guided missiles from Lanka. He went to, from there he could guide the missiles going up to Ravana to kill him directly. All these things were there. But simultaneously the left side was also working. It's not that only the right side was working. Even on the right side there were many levels that were working now. For example, on the side of the men, it was they were doing these havanas. Now what is a havan normally is to control all the grahas, see, all the planets. Because if you control the planets, you can control your destiny. See? So all the navagrahas they will make and worship them. Then all these Suryas, Chandras and all these mandalas, all these they will worship and offer them things. Then fire worship as another thing, to worship fire. Because if you worship fire, you can control fire, you see. And then to worship water, also worship Akasha. You see, all these things are ether. All the elements are to be worshipped, and to get to the deities who control it. Now, for example, if I want to have the sun, I don't have to bother. I can just ask him, just please there, you see. I can ask the rain to stop, I can ask the sun to come in, I can do whatever I please if I want to. You see, it is very easy because they are under my command. You can just tell them like that. But because they were not under your command, so the human beings started working on that side, is to command the sun, how to command the moon. And they did it, like Parashar Muni had the power to control the sun. He had the power to control the sun. You see, it's a story about him, the Vyasa's father, Parashar Muni. But he did not understand other things which he should have understood. It was little more towards the right hand side. You see. Now, this movement started with Yajna and all that, and they used Shrutis and Smrutis and describing all the mandalas, how to enter onto mandalas. They also went up to this point that they could find out the mines under the earth. See, in those days, imagine, there were no mines. I mean, there was no way of finding out the mines also. There was, you see, now you have such instruments to find out all these things. But there were no such things to find out. How did they find out the mines? We had so much of gold in our country. From where did they get it? Then how did they fish out the pearls? And they had much more wealth than we have now in that country, you see. And how did they build these big houses? And they created Maya Nagaris and all kinds of things. You know, you could switch on a whole big thing will come up. The whole city would come up. If you switch off, the whole city would disappear. Again it would come up. It's like that. They had all these things. If you read the Mahabharata, how these people created, especially Draupadi.
Is this Ritambara Pragyam? Is that the...
Yes, they call it as Ritambara. pragya. That pragya, here is knowledge, pra is enlightenment. You see, this was the pratambara pragya by which they discovered all these things and they could master it, and they had really mastered all these things. Now, they had to develop it because there were two types of horrible forces which were going against them. One of them is the element, and the another was the demonic force, you see. And the demons had realized that as there are deities, also we can use some horrible these spirits. So they had mastered the spirits. Now there are some spirits that they could use, like they can bring the wind, they can create turmoil. There are some spirits, if you know how to control them, they can bring these viruses. See, this virus infection is nothing but these are spirits of the dead. See, so they collected all the dead animals, spirits, and dead locusts, spirits, and dead viruses, spirits, and they went to that side, and that's how they were mastering. So they had to do something about these things. So they wanted to master the deities which are residing in the elements, so that they could harness everything that was disturbing their growth. So first thing this was done. Simultaneously, as I said, there were other planes. On the right hand side also was another one where the wives, you see, the dedicated wives, devotees, devotee wives, see, as called as sati. Now one are known as yatis, another are sati. So the ones who tried to find out about elements and overpower the elements and all those things, they were yatis, and the ones who tried to find out about sort of must have a mastery with their willpower, you see, were the devotee women. They too mastered the elements very much. Though the devoted women are regarded even higher than yatis. You know, satis are higher than satis. Satis are called as the, in Sanskrit is Uchatar. They are much higher than the yatis. So their achievements were much more in dimension, because first they had used their bhakti also, because they were dedicated to their husbands. One of them, we can say, of Ravana's wife. So we will take for example, Ravana's wife. She was so powerful, such a powerful woman she was. Of course, she was Mahakali herself, so naturally you can imagine she was the Mahakali force herself, but she was a sati as she came. So she had a sahaja samarthya, she had this sahaja power. But there are many satis who achieved sati power. I'll describe this lady. See, this sati, Mandodari, she was Ravana's wife. When she married him, she had to marry, though she was Mahakali. That's also a big story. If I go to that story also, it's very interesting. I'll tell you later about it. So she was married to him. And when Ravana, see, was fighting Rama, she was a sati, and she was a devotee of Sri Vishnu. And she always used to worship Sri Vishnu. So she threw her kankan. This is a kankan. It's called as kankan. See this one? See now. It's very interesting. Kankan. Is it not easy to make?
No.
Very few people can make it.
Why?
Let's see. Be careful. See? It's tricky. So all these, this kankan, you know, she threw it in the air. And Rama's arrows were coming, and they would return back to Rama, because Rama cannot cross beyond the powers of a sati also. He has to respect her, because she was a devotee of Rama, first of all. And I mean, you know that Kali is the sister of Uma is the sister of Vishnu. So you see, how can he kill the husband of
Sister.
his sister? You see, all these points were there. And the Kankana was in the air, it was rotating. Everything failed. You see, nothing would go. Even Sudarshan Chakra wouldn't go that side. So Lakshmana said, what are you doing? What is it? You are getting back all your arrows. Why don't you control your arrows? He said, what to do? See there. What is that? He saw the Kankana was moving there. He said, oh God, now you have it. If this is going to work out, then Rama is useless. Even Lakshmana was sitting very much in frustration. When Yama, the god of death, thought the time is coming, and what is this Kankan doing here, you see? So must try to solve this problem. So he is the clever one. He went into the heart of, or he went into the mind of Ravana and told him, oh, you are not the one who is winning the war, it is your wife's anger. And his ego was challenged. You see in the air, you see that dragon is there, that is the one that is protecting you. Very angry. What does she mean by challenging my manliness? See, so he went down to his palace. He saw she was sitting there smiling. She said, I know you will come back. He said, what do you mean? I cannot fight the war. You think I live by your powers? Will you please get back your Kankana? It's by order. So, as a sati, you have to obey the orders of your husband, you see. She said, alright, I'll take it back. She took back, you see. So, but you can find out loopholes, you see. That's the beauty of the whole thing. So, she said, now I've taken back my Kankana. Alright. Then she sat before Vishnu. She said, how dare you kill my husband? I will not eat food till he comes back here alive. I will not eat food. Now Vishnu had a problem. Now what to do? He cannot kill Rama being Vishnu, you see. He cannot kill Ravana. And he said, what to do? So he told Lakshmana, it's a big problem. So Lakshmana informed Yama, again the problem has come. She won't eat food till her husband goes back. So Yama said, I know it's very dangerous, but I'll have to try this trick. Otherwise, I'm in for trouble. This man has to die. You know, the time has come. So Yama said, it's a very big risk to face this sati. See, one woman fighting all this with her very power. So he says, alright, I will manage it. He took the form of Ravana himself. He started looking like Ravana. And he went there and he stood up in the door and he said, now see, I've come now. He said, did you win the war? He said, yes. He said, alright. He said, now will you eat your food? And the food was lying before her. And she made a mistake there. She ate the food. Before your husband has taken the food, you are not supposed to eat the food. So that's why Indian women will never eat it. Because this gives them power, you see. To be dedicated wife means power. So they do not mind even if their husbands are bad, even if they are rakshasas or anything. They will be dedicated to their husbands. They love them. So that they keep their own powers and by that they save their husbands also. So he stood up there and he says, you eat your food. As soon as she ate the food, and not even she ate the first morsel, Ravana's head was cut. And the head fell at the feet of Mandodari. And then, Yama came in his own form and she cursed him that you will be a dog in your next life. And he became a dog in his next life. He has to. So they are so powerful. But this I am telling you about someone who was sort of a sahaja, a samarthya.
Which dog was this, mother?
Huh?
Which dog was this? This wasn't the dog which accompanied Yudhishthira.
Of course.
That
Who
was
else?
the same dog.
Yes.
So Yudhishthira released Yama from
You see, actually it is after Rama, you see, whatever curses and everything were carried on during the time of Krishna. So he is the same dog, the one who followed Yudhishthira, you see. Yeah, Dharmaraja. Yeah. So, this story tells you about Mandodari, who was a Kali, Uma. She was Parvati, Shakti. So it's different, but of an ordinary lady like Gandhari. See? Or she was the wife of this Dhritarashtra, who was a blind man, the father of Kauravas. And this Gandhari tied a cloth on her eyes all her life. She never saw anything because her husband was blind. She said, if he cannot see anything, I am not also going to see anything. And she worked it out that way. Her eyes became so powerful, very powerful, because of that closing of her eyes. Going to that extreme, she developed that power of Bhasman Drishti, they call it. It's called as a Bhasman Drishti. And there's another Drishti is Amara Drishti, by which if you see anything that cannot be killed. So she called her eldest son, who was Duryodhana, who was a horrible fellow, was in the war. She called him, she said, you better become naked. I'll open my eyes and put my drishti, is the vision, on you. And you will be absolutely amara, means you will be immortal. And this really made him very he was very much happy about it. But he thought, I'm such a grown-up boy, how can I be even naked before my mother fully? She used to wear a little lion cloth, you see. So he could face his mother, because it would be shameful to face your mother like that. So when she opened her eyes, she removed the thing. Her eyes fell on the body, and that part which was covered, he did not receive her blessing. So he was weak in that part. So when Bhima, kills Duryodhana, he knows this trick. He knows that that part is weak. So what he did, he put one foot on his one leg, and another leg he opened out, because that was the weak point, and he made him into two. That's how he was killed. Otherwise he could not have been killed by anything, because that was the weak point he had, which he lifted out, and that's how he killed him. So this was the power of the devoted wife. So this was another plane where they developed power of a devoted wife, you see, and a dedicated wife. Then this power was used also, misused, abused, people did it. But even, you see, this same Gandhari, the one who has done this, was a very powerful woman during the time of Krishna. And she told Krishna that you are Vishnu, you are the one who is this, and you can take births many times. But the way you have killed all men, every child of mine, you have finished my complete dynasty. No more Kauravas left on this earth. In the same way, your dynasty will be finished. He is of the Yadu Vansha, is the Yadavas. You see, was Yadava. All the Yadavas will be killed, and you will be killed in an unknown place. And Krishna had to accept that curse upon himself, and he was killed in an unknown place. Because Sati is the purest form of devotee to the wife. You see, it's easy to the husband, easy to be dedicated to God, because God is perfect. You see, God is perfect. He gives you love, He gives you this. But a husband who is horrid, who gives you nothing. He tries your patience all your life to be dedicated to such a person. Gives you a real training in dedication. If you stick on to him, like the gurus, you see, same way, they try the patience of the. That's the reason they said, all right, go ahead. That's the same principle, based on the same principle as the lady, you see, who worships her husband, who is a horrid fellow, like Ravana is. So anybody, Dhritarashtra, the brand fellow. Like there was another one, Anasuya, was another very great woman in India. Anasuya. She was so great, she changed. I mean, she made the sun rain, she made the river change its course. She did all kinds of things for her husband, who was a horrid fellow. He was absolutely the dirtiest possible fellow, who had all kinds of diseases because of dirty things he did all his life, you see. And he would ill-treat her, and then he got horrible diseases, because you see, all his life he was so filthy. Then he got leprosy, he got this. She took him from one place to another, to all the temples and everything, and she defied all the nature and everything. This Sati Anasuya, you see. Such a powerful woman. She cured her husband, she got everything done. She's a very powerful woman. And then Narmada, the river, see that we have. She herself was a deity, and now she is the. She was actually she never married. but she loved somebody and wanted to marry someone. So she dedicated herself wholly to that love, and she became this river, you see, and it's a virgin river. So in India, you see, people do not take out water from that river, Narmada. They just say, alright, this is the river, we are not going to touch, we are not going to take out the water out of this river. I mean, it goes so deep into us, you see, we know all these things very well. So the sati is to be feared very much, you see. I am also a little afraid of them, the way they are. Oh, and if someone has a husband, you know, who is wanting a divorce from a sati, I said, I am out of it, I am not for it, please keep me out, I am not. See, they are not to be disturbed. And we had example of that in modern times also, very much in India. She is terrible sati, like Padmini, a terrible one. Padmini was a very beautiful woman, and she was attacked by this king, who was this Muslim king, who heard about her beauty. And he asked that he should have a look at her. But,
This is the one whom he saw in the mirror.
Yeah. But then Padmi said, otherwise if he's going to attack our country, I don't mind, he can see me in the mirror, I don't mind. So he can see me in the mirror. So he went and saw her in the mirror. Then he became even worse, you see. He said, I must have her, otherwise I'm going to attack. So Padmini said, you see, they could not understand how can they allow their queen to be passed to other people, because this would be the greatest insult. See, it's a very different country altogether. The fiber is different. Not like you allow your queens to be guillotined by a king, you know. That sort of a thing. A queen is a queen. It's a very big thing. So they would not allow such a thing. They said, no, this time we are going to fight it out. So they sent word that Padmini is coming with her maids. And they all dressed up like ladies, you see, sat inside the palanquin, and the king sat in the palanquin of the queen, you see, and they had many palanquins, 1,000 palanquins, and inside the palanquin sat all these ladies dressed up outside like a sari they put, and inside they had all the armor and everything with them. And the men, 4 men carried one palanquin, you see. So the 4 men were also warriors, all covered with things, and they had all the things put inside, all the arms put inside the palanquin also. And that's how they walked into the enemy's camp. And they had told these ladies, if you win, well and good. If you do not win, then we'll lit a fire at a particular point, and you can see the fire from the fort. Then you have to go on a fire. It was a common thing in India to have a fire made, and on that a woman would burn herself out, because English did not understand. It's our sati system. They cannot understand. You see, when we believe that is the way we get our power. So they made a fire, because they would not allow other men to touch their body. Indian woman doesn't like other men touching their body, unless and until they are younger to them, just like their children is different. But an older person like that, they don't like to see that other men should touch them, because they think their power will be gone. If they have bad lust or anything in their heads, then their power will be lost. So this fire was made. It's called as Johar, you see. And all the women climbed on the fire, because they lost the battle and they saw the fire, and the whole thing went out, because nothing was left for the king when he came to he saw the women. But we had a Muslim sati too. See, we had great satis in our country, great women, and that's how our country is so great, because of the great women who are not only respected but are extremely respectable, and the women of great strength of character. So this is the lady we can say of Nurja. Have you been to Fatehpur Sikri? No, we did not go. But some of you did go to Fatehpur Sikri. She's the one who created Fatehpur Sikri. And she was the one who was in love with Salim, the son of Akbar. And Akbar was, though he was a good man, he was a little class conscious, I think. So that he wouldn't allow this Meherum Nusa was the name. Oh, not Meherum Nusa. That's Meherum Nusa.
She was a dancer. No,
she wasn't. She was an ordinary girl. Actually, there's a story about her, how she went from Afghanistan to India and what happened on the way and all that. And she, you see, when she, like a lady in the waiting she was, and he saw her there, and he fell in love with her, because she was so innocent. He had 2 doves in his hand, and he gave her that, you just look after them, I'm coming back. She was holding the dove. And when he came back, he saw she had only one. What did you do to another one? He said, I did not do. It just flew. He said, how? The other one she pushed it up and the other one also flew this way. So he lost both the doves. And that's how he fell in love with her. She's so innocent. But Akbar objected to it. He said, no, my son cannot marry an ordinary woman like that. But then he wanted to compensate for it. So king married her to Sher Afghan, another, one of his courtiers. Huh?
Courtier.
Courtesans.
No,
Courtesans
courtier.
differently.
Court?
Courtier.
Courtier.
Courtier. Yes, courtier. Courtier.
Courtier, yes, courtier.
Courtier.
To one of his courtiers. And he sent him to Bengal to live there so that there is no disturbance in the mind of the Salim. But you see, it so happened when Salim became Jahangir, the war broke out. And in the war, this Afghan fought against Jahangir and he lost his life. So you see, this girl developed a feeling against Jahangir, Salim, same one, thinking that he has killed my husband because he wants to have. And she came to Delhi because she had a house there, so she came down to Delhi. And then what happened that he said that you must marry, and he forced her to marry him. She said, you can marry me if you want to, but you cannot have me as a wife. You have killed my husband, I cannot follow you. Now he was the emperor of India just now, and she refused to marry. And she was in love to begin with, but once she had a husband, she forgot about her love and everything. She was dedicated to God. And they are Muslims now. Now this girl went, then after some time what happened, that this Salim could not bear this idea that she's here and I cannot marry her, and he was so lovelorn that he developed a terrible disease. And the physician said that unless and until he marries this girl, he cannot be saved. So his mother was an Indian lady. Akbar had married Jodhabai. It's very, you see, our Indian, this thing is very lalita. Means that it's full of varieties and beauties. So this Jodhabai, imagine Akbar married her, and if you go and see, I don't know if you have seen the Agra's fort. Did you see Agra fort?
I have never been to India. I will go in November.
Yes, all right. So, then this in Agra they have this fort in which Jodhabai's palace is there. He made all in Rajput architecture, Indian Hindu architecture, you see, so that she feels comfortable. So nice of it, isn't it? Now Jodhabai just thought of a trick. She said, now I must try some trick to save my son. So she became an ordinary maid servant and she went to this. She was the mother queen, imagine. For her son's sake, she went and stayed with this lady and tried to serve her as a maid. And she looked after her and gave her love and was very kind to her. So she said, what can I do for you? What you ask me? She said, will you give me anything I ask? Yes. She said, if it is in my power, I will give you. So she said, all right, I request you to marry my son. She said, all right, I will marry your son. See, she was willing to marry the son of her maid, but she would not marry the emperor. See the character of that woman. And then that turned out to be Salim. You see, she had to marry. Then she married him. And she never used to drink, this Noor Jahan never drank. But Salim would drink, so she made Fatehpur Sikri for him, developed it into a beautiful place, gave him all the pleasures of life, and she actually ruled the place. And Salim is known for fair play, you see, for justice. He was known for justice. He would not deny justice to anyone. Everybody could go and see him and all that. But he had one vice of drinking. And this is the story of a modern thing. But we had many like this in modern times also, women who are dedicated to their husbands and by that they have power. So this was another plane they worked on. So we had yatis, or you can call them yogis, or people who had such powers that they could just look at somebody and make it bhasma, just make them into ashes. We had people like that, just. But these were all destructive powers in a way, you see. But the cunning of Krishna has used many a times these powers to kill the Rakshasas. Like there was one yogi, you see, he was sleeping for ages. He was sleeping, you see. He was enjoying his sleep because he had nothing to do. He thought that I've achieved whatever I wanted. He was just sleeping nicely. In a cave, you see, was a famous thing, is sleeping in a cave all his life, you see. And it was said that the one who will awaken him and the one whom he will see for the first time will be killed. So this was the thing given to him by Shiva. Shiva had given him this power through this woman. So there was another one, Rakshasa, who was horrible, and he had so many boons from Shiva that he had become absolutely immortal and nobody could kill him. And in the war with Krishna found it difficult how to kill him now because he has been saved by Shiva. Now what to do? So he thought of this trick. See, he started running out of the battlefield. So he's called as Ran Chhod Das, means the one who runs away from the battlefield, the run away from the battlefield. You see, he's the Ran Chhod Das. And he ran away from there and he ran up to this cave, you see. There he went and he was wearing a shawl, you see. And he covered this yogi with his shawl completely, very carefully he did, you see, so that he was not awakened. And he hid himself. Now this fellow followed him up, ran after him, and he also entered into the cave, and he saw this one sleeping with a shawl on, special of Mr. Sri Krishna, you see. And he saw him sleeping down. Oh, now I know where you are. This is where you have come now. You are tired of running, so you are sleeping. Now I will see how you are going to continue. And as soon as he pulled the shawl, you see, this fellow got up and he saw it. This was Krishna's time. So, but simultaneously, as I said, other things were working out. The bhakti cult was there. People used to have also bhakti. They used to worship God and they used to ask to meet them. This was the another type which could not read Upanishads, which could not recite the mantras and all. Prakruti. See, the people, the general public was doing bhakti and asking God the help and all that. While the rishis were there who had empowered these things. Lots of stories are there. Even in the Puranas there are stories of people who are very great saints who developed bhakti through that they had powers. Like there was one story, very beautiful story. It is, I won't say in what one of the Puranas it is. In the Skanda Purana it is. That there was a man who had developed lots of powers. He could kill a bird looking at the bird. So he went out and he was meditating under a tree, and there was a bird who started to disturb. The bird started chirping and he got very angry. He looked at the bird with a temper. And the bird died, you see. And the bird died, fell down. Very proud, I've killed the bird. So, he went to the next village and there he begged for food, see, from a house. So, he sort of knocked at the door. And a lady came out. And he said, I want some food. She said, you see, my husband is not in the house. And it's a custom that without the permission of the husband, you are not to give alms to even to any guru, because that's how Sita was taken away by Ravana, you see. So he refused. She said, no, I'm sorry, my husband is not in the house, I cannot give any alms. So he looked at her. He said, you cannot kill me the way you killed the bird this morning. She said, how does she know? So he touched her feet. He said, how do you know this? He said, I know through my Sati powers. But the one who is higher than me, you see, is such and such. You go and meet him on such and such place. He runs a shop. I said, he runs a shop? Yes, he runs a shop. He said, you go and ask for such a name and you will meet him there. So he went down to the other village, and there he went and asked, where is this man? He said, yes, he's there in that shop. He went there. There was a man standing there and he was selling meat. And he was cutting all the things and nicely. He was a, what do you say? Butcher. He was a butcher. And he was cutting the meat and he was distributing all full of blood and all that. So he said, are you such and such? He said, yes, so what? He said, you mean you are the one who is higher than that lady? He said, who told you that? He said, the lady herself. He said, really? Did she? Oh, I don't know about that. So he said, what are your powers? He said, my powers are surge. So that's what. Now, the left side power was of the bhakti, of dedication. You see. And that's how they developed this bhakti kattas. But the center power is the proper mixture of both, which is absolutely suitable for the growth. For their children, you have got knowledge now of all the intricate things of the element because of what they did to these deities. And the deities got awakened into you, and that's how you discovered all about science. How did you discover about science? Because those deities got, they are within you. All these chakras are also made of these elements, you know. The body of the chakras is made of these elements. So these bodies of the chakras got what you call the enlightenment, and you could know about these things. About the sun, about the moon, about everything you started knowing through your science. So why do you want to now bother about these things? You have already got the fruit of it. Alright. Then the bhakti part of it, running mad after God and singing all melancholy songs, horrible things all the time. Oh God, when will you meet me? See, like I was just out today taking the water out of these taps. These are little old fashioned, I would say. One is hot, one is cold. See? But in our house we have that mixture. See? So I thought this is the central part, the mixture. Working out. And the central part is the main thing, is by which this is today's job. That was made. Now there's no need. What is the need now to bring about these things? Now see, this is so beautiful. What we are doing today is yajna. In modern times, people do yajna either to Vishnu, that's a direct central path, or to Devi. See, Brahmadeva is never worshipped. There is only one temple of Brahmadeva in Pushkar. This was done long time back. Whatever is, you see, this right hand side business is Brahmadeva's name. So the third thing started, which was incarnations, and they were also coming simultaneously. And they were building up, at the time this was going on both the sides, they were building up your centers in the center. And they came one by one till they came to the Krishna's place. See, at the Krishna's place, it was complete. Now they had to show human beings how you have to transcend, how you have to become resurrected. So Christ came. Resurrection is the message of Christ, not his death. It's the resurrection. He had to die to be resurrected. Because Krishna said, Nainam chidanti shastrani, Nainam dahati pavaka, that this spirit cannot be killed.
That was a symbol of the resurrection.
Yes, he said it. Krishna was his father. So he said, it cannot be killed. The spirit cannot be killed by any instrument. It can but not be thrown away. In Devi Mahatmya is described as Mahavishnu. I mean, now I hope the book is translated in English. You will take it seriously and do it. I have told so many people to translate it in English. Then this Mahavishnu was created specially for this purpose. And because it had to be shown that the spirit does not die, that the all-pervading power does not die, he was made out of the power only. Now, he is Ganesha. Because Ganesha is nothing but the vibrations on the body of the lady. See, and when she was a virgin, she wanted to have her bath. So she cleared her hands, took out all the mala. Mala is the dirt. See, she took out the mala. And then she made a Ganesha out of it. All the vibrations, you take out anything from my body, you'll find it's all full of vibration. So that body, the earth element of Ganesha, when it is removed, we can say that now see, when the light comes in, the matter element is converted into light. In the same way, when that just became nothing but Brahma Tattva, Christ was incarnated. And that Brahma Tattva is Christ. Now when you have Christ, why should you bother about matter so much? But as the thing is, you see, that people who are told to do this, they will do just opposite. And the We can say the evolution moves this way, while the human beings move that way. Because whatever is told to you, just go against it. Just against it. Now Christ was not an intellectual. But all his disciples are intellectuals. Even the churches are full of them. So they want to know Christ through intellect. They cannot. They have to know him through their hearts. So they denied Christ. They said, no Christ. We do not want to have Christ. We'll have our intellect. So these people have come, supplied their own stuff to you, to pull you back. Now Christ is the complete integrated force. He is born in the center where all these three forces pass. Just see. Mahakali, Mahalakshmi, Mahasaraswati, all of them pass like this. Do you know this? From here, these two forces come down, and from the center Sushumna. And that is the point where Christ is, in the center. He has all these three powers within himself. He can control this, left, right, and the center. But he is the one who has opened this for you, this gate. That's why I say I am the gate. He did not say I am the destination. He said I am the gate. So he opens the gate for them. He is the one who had to resurrect himself to prove the saying of Krishna that I am the path, I am the gate. And he said all these things because it was said that he will be born. He is the Adhara, he is the support of the whole universe. It's being said by Krishna himself. In Devi Bhagavati, if you read, his own father Krishna gave him these powers. And the 1/16th of whatever you give to God Almighty goes to him. You see, automatically, and he's placed even higher than him. So if Krishna was here, so Vishuddhi Chakra is here. The seat is here, but he's placed here higher. See, that is the position, and his position is adherent. His chakra and his position is the same. His seat and his center is the same, while all other chakras are deviated. You see, because the seats are different in the head and the chakras are different. They are controlled by the seats, but in the brain, the seat of Christ and the chakra is the same. So, he is the fruit of all this. Now, you have been given the fruit. So why do you want to go to the roots? It is just like that. But you cannot accept it because, you see, intellect cannot conceive of such a thing that was Christ. Alright, doesn't matter. Even if you go to the other side of it, I was telling about yajna, what are we doing? We are using the Devi Mahatma, the left side, the mixture, and the yajna, the fire. You have to do it in Sahaja Yoga. You have seen it. We take the boots from here and burn them on the fire. You see, it is the left feeds the right and right feeds the left. If there is a problem with the right, put the left. If there is a problem with the left, put the right. In the same way, you see, when you are too much intellectual or anything, I just throw my left to this. And then I capture your entrance. You are flabbergasted with my simplicity, with my innocence. It's tomfoolery, you can call it. Sometimes I look so absurd also that you can't understand. When you cannot grasp me with your intellect, you give in. So this is the play of left and right, the balancing of it, you see. So this is how you bring them up like that. And this is Ha Tha. Ha is the Surya Nadi, Tha is the Chandra Nadi. These two lines, Ha Tha in between. But for human beings it's sort of very difficult because there was no force coming from down below. So they would put one foot on one wall, one foot on another wall. Walk like that. You see, between the two walls, you see. Just imagine climbing up in that way, zigzag. That's why they always say the climbing is zigzag. See, our climbing is straightforward march. So I had to come. You see, this was all promised. I had to come and do the job. This was so much. I've also come before like a cow. You see, it was just a cow before, and now I'm a human being. What thing, real evolution. But I've come otherwise also in parts because Mahalakshmi has I've come many times because incarnation comes through Mahalakshmi power, and that's how as Saraswati have come once, and as Mahalakshmi have come so many times. And this human form also has been taken by perfecting that part of Mahalakshmi thing. So all the powers put together is this form here sitting before you. Not only that, but all the plugs are here. You believe in Rama? Alright, ask. Rama is inside. All the plugs are here. You ask for Rama. Are you Rama? they start to proceed. You get the vibration. You believe in Sri Krishna, alright. If you believe in Jesus, you ask. Any guru, anything, all found in this body of mine. Just imagine, what a problem. It's so difficult for nothing at all. But it is always so because you go in the opposite direction. Now we come down to David's problem, from there to this. You know what happens, like David, half-baked surgeons, they start organizing. Then they organize. They have half-baked ideas about surgery. And they have some sort of a background, you see. So they cannot do much in Sahaja Yoga. They cannot trace Kundalini much. They cannot do. So they go back, fall back on their old habits, you see. So they take out their cards, they take out this, work it out. And that's how, you see, in second generation or third generation, it may fail. Not Sahaja Yoga won't fail now after this, because you know what it is. I've never talked so much as I have talked in this lifetime. For one reason, I realized that I never talked, that's why this problem has come. If I had talked so much, there would have been not so much problem, you see. If I had told people clearly what it is, it would have been much better. And so I'm talking, you see, because that later on, you do not come up and tell me that you didn't say so. And these modern things that you have developed are helping. Even the photograph. You see your science, how helpful it is. My photograph has got the vibrations. These are, if I go on the TV, I may be able to vibrate lots of homes, you see. But it's difficult to get into it, you see. If I could by any chance, then I may be able to do it. See, like that it is. So, everything that is so-called invention is just going to manifest this being, you know, and that is going to work it out. So, it is also very helpful. Science is not a waste. Imagine Rama came, he had to walk all the way bare feet just to vibrate our country and meet people. And he was the greatest tourist, I say. But I am even greater. Because I am travelling all over the world now. I've been to all the places like Argentina, to what's that place is, far-fetched places, Chile, the other end, to Russia, to China. Russia I have not been, but I'll be going. China and all these places. Australia I have not been, I hope to go there too. So like that, you see, it's a very good chance for me to meet everyone without going on bare feet. Imagine what terrible times we had that time to walk all the way. So here you go by playing in first class, because my husband gets a first class ticket. That's what it is. So this is how it's going to be vibrated. All these modern things, the science is not futile, it is going to happen. But the human beings must realize first my value, then they will do, otherwise they will not use me. You see, imagine this, Mahesh Yogi had organized a program in Delhi with this set for India in those days 65 lakhs of rupees, 6 million.
65 lakhs is 6 million rupees.
60 million rupees.
6 million. 6 million rupees.
6.5 million rupees. He organized a program with the television set, all that and everything. So I played my own tricks, you see. So they said, what to do, mother, such a big program is on. I said, very simple. So I asked two boys, I said, you take my see, you said we have come with great emotion from such a long distance. You must put up all the show, you see, if you can act. And I made them act and all. And I gave them a garland, you see, which was vibrated fully. I said, you just put this on him and put this. You see, that is how we worship our Lord. And he said, you see, first he will say, no, so the other fellow should push the hand and put the thing there, you see. So they went in, oh sir, please allow us, see, and all that. So they said, all right, let him be. So they allowed him to go inside. They entered into that place where he was sitting with him. And this fellow first went, oh sir, we really, and like that he put the thing in the agya, you see, and then they put the garland. And he got quite nervous, you see, with the whole thing. And everybody noticed it. It was even in the papers. And he was very upset and he was very nervous. And he got up to speak and he was pulling the garland, every flower, and he was breaking it, and they did not understand why he was so fidgety. And this all that he did, and the whole thing failed because the electricity went off. Everything went off. And electricity going off helps me a lot sometimes. See, like once in Delhi, what happened, we were going into meditation and all that. People would not close their eyes. So I said, the meditation won't take place. So once the lights were too much, the lights went off. And I was
remember
speaking.
that.
Remember that? Yes, you were there. And after that realization, that see.
A
Now,
similar thing happened at Bodhi, didn't it?
huh?
A similar thing happened at Bodhi. The first time we were at Bodhi,
Yeah.
and the lights went on. That was quite funny. He continued talking away.
Yeah, it works better. It's just that. See, Surya is Christ. He resides in the sun. That's why you are sun worshippers. But you people are really mad about it. See the way you should not become naked in the presence of sun. You are insulting him. You should not become naked in the presence of sun at all. You insult him. This is the foolish ideas people have. And that's why one day I said these beaches and all that. And all the beaches are now being destroyed. Have you noticed it? One by one. The chain has started. No proper respect, regard for.
You mean destroyed by
Oil,
oil and dirt? Yes.
earthquakes.
These so many explosions have taken place, oil has gone there, no? Feeding back into Dharma. Dharma is the center. Then you become Dharmatit. Now you have gone beyond Dharma. You crossed. You have become Dharmatit now. You are Gunatit. You are beyond Guna. Still you catch sometimes. So you try to remove it. You can just by movement you can balance yourself. Just imagine what you are doing. See the dynamic forces that you can balance yourself just by movement of your hand. इसको कहते हैं हिंदी में इशारे पे बेचारा. In English we could say that to make it dance on your finger. So that is it. These are the powers of Ganesha. His powers. He is your eldest brother. Powers of Christ. That are given to you. And so, you are very powerful people. So, evaluate yourself. And so humble, Just see, I have not got one teacher in Sahaj Yoga whom I can say this is Sahaj Yoga teacher. They are too humble. I try to push them, they come back. It's very short. Still little baby there. Nobody tries to come forward. You see, Bala tried his level best. Another fellow came and he just these yajnas were done and these mantras were recited. There was no talk of deities at all. Neither Ganesha nor anyone. They did not talk. At the most they talked of Shiva. They were only conscious of Shiva because Shiva has to be before any creation. So about Shiva and Brahmadeva. Like they have called him by Hiranyagarbha and all that. All that is Gayatri and all these things. The powers of Gayatri, Savitri and all those things are there. But they never talked of these deities like Ganesha. Then about maybe Ganesha Tattva they might have discussed, I don't know, in the beginning because he was also in the beginning. So Ganesha Tattva is there, Shiva is there, Shakti is there. At the most, these three they might have discussed. But the other deities of the center they never talked because till Krishna came in, the whole thing was not established. After Krishna, this became more sort of a thing achieved God through the central path. So the gurus, most of them achieved their realization. Very few of them, very few of them achieved realization through the grace of incarnations, mostly. See? But there was no sort of ascent through the center path to understand all these deities. So all the talk about these deities and everything started when Krishna came and went away. Then this thing, even up to Krishna, there is no talk of Kundalini. Up to Krishna, there is no talk of Kundalini. Only the people, gurus, you see the central path here, they started talking. It was kept as a guarded secret. For very few people it was given by these gurus who were incarnations. And they gave this. Like Janaka, he did this job. Janaka did at the time of Rama, he did it. And like that, this part was done gradually in the center. It was worked out. And at the time of Krishna, also Rama was Vasishtha, is another one who did this. Vasishtha, the gurus did it, you see. And Krishna's guru also did it. But only the gurus did this work for very few people who came to them. So it was very guarded secret, was kept as a Gupta Jnana, nobody told it. Only it started coming to surface when, I would say, when Shankaracharya started talking about it. This is the 6th century. That still was Gupta because people did not know what they are talking about. Kabira talked about it very openly, but people did not understand what is Ida, Pingla, this, that. Thought he was mad. Nanaka talked about it later on. You see, it became much more open after Shankaracharya died. I would say when Shankaracharya wrote about these things. Before Shankaracharya, these things were never exposed to the public. So you can imagine till the 6th century, nobody knew. It depends on the growth. Like you see, when I was small, I used to take more of sugar and milk. Now I am at this age, I take more proteins. In the same way it is. It works out the same way. That is the time it was to feed very few people with the spiritual light. And there were very few gurus who were really there. Were given realization. Like even up to the point you can go. Dattatreya, where we went into Suchindra Mandir. You were with us last time? You were. Did you come to Kovalam? You did not. No. Those who went to Kovalam with me saw that Suchindra Mandir. That is the place where Dattatreya was born, see? And where Dattatreya gave realization to Indra. Imagine, where he was cleansed there. So this was the job of very, very few gurus who were enlightened by incarnations of the Guru Tattva, of the principle of primordial master. And this work was done gradually, and then it was brought to periphery only after Shankaracharya. Because Shankaracharya came after Buddha. And he felt that Buddha's movement was on one side. Buddha moved from right side and came to the left here, see, as Ahankara. He settled down there. Left side was already there. So he thought now the time has come to talk about it. So he started talking about the Kundalini and all. So this Gupta, the Shri Chakra and all those things started coming into open light after Shankaracharya, 6th century. As we are modern people, we should go to the modern thing. See, ancient is alright, we must know also ancient. But we have crossed all those limits. So where are we? This is the point. You understand now? But people are impressed, you see, by antiques. Alright, antiques are good, but they are the basics. And you are at the top point. It's alright, you are using them, quite alright, because the base is helping the whole building to stand.
Well, is it still evolving, in fact? What people are saying is that what happened 5,000 years ago stopped there.
No.
But it's still evolving now.
No, it's
1,000 years
absolutely.
ago.
Now, this is what it is.
Yeah.
How Sahaja Yoga has come into being, you see.
Yeah.
And this Savitri, you ask, are you the Gayatri Mother? You just say, are you Gayatri? There are many people. Then you see, we had a setback in India after Shankaracharya. Because people started worshipping these gods, which Shankaracharya said. So we went into polytheism. You see, people started worshipping many gods, using ritualism and all that. So, in modern times only, about 100 years back, this horrible fellow came in, Swami Dayananda. See, he said that this is wrong, let us go back to the old stuff, you see. So he started Arya Samaj. In that he said, oh, this is wrong, only Brahma is this thing, and we should do fire ceremony and this thing. He started converting people also. This Arya Samaj came in. Horrible people, you see, not one you can give realization. And this Arya Samaj developed in India. We set back all they call it polytheism, worshipping all the gods. It was like this, you see, because people were talking about gods, they lost the value of the essence. But even talking about the essence, you do not reach, there is all talk. As I give an example of flower and the honey. That if you have the flower and you talk about the flower, you do not get the honey. And if your attention is on the honey also and talk about the honey, you do not get the honey. You have to become the bee. You have to become something to go there. So this was just talk. So they came back with Arya Samaj. And if you read their books, you'll be amazed what talks they have done compared to what this horrible Mahesh Yogi can teach you. They put all these things on, these so many koshas are there, made of 5 koshas, this and that, all this. And these and the pseudo-intellectuals, these psychologists and all that in India, they captured this and they have made money out of it. That's all, it's very simple. But this Arya Samaj, of course, retarded the progress of people. And Arya Samajis started doing Havana, Yajna and all that. No use. Then my coming has to be there to prove it. They worship Gayatri. So many people, especially in Kashmir, people worship Gayatri. The Gayatri is a power, which is the essence of all the Brahma Tattva in the atmosphere. So the Kashmiris worship that. And so many Kashmiris came, they had Shuddhi Chakra because they said Gayatri Mantra, and they had this, problem on the right hand side when they were catching on the heart. They all get heart attacks and die. Gayatri Mantra. All of them get heart attacks and die. See, and normally also people who are in the West get heart attacks. So then I asked them, you ask, am I the Gayatri? They asked, are you the Sandhya? Yes. So it is written in the Devi Mahatma, if you read Markandeya and all are later people. You are the Gayatri, you are the Sandhya. Because that was the abstract power that time, now it is in form.
I read the translation in French. Christine found a translation in French of the Devi Mahatma, and I read it. It's very, very beautiful.
But in English you have. Yes. And there's one with the names also are translated, Devi. Lalita Sahasranama. It's translated. There it is, you are the Gayatri, you are the Sandhya. The name, Markandeya has given it. Markandeya was much later, came much later. Say he came before, of course, Shankaracharya. Some say that he was even during the time of Vedas. I mean, they cannot say what was the time of Markandeya, but it was a secret code. In London, when I came first time, I just felt there has been no yajnas here, nothing. I mean, it is all out of, it's all arbitrary. All the elements are arbitrary when I came. And then these boys asked me, I said, Mother, can you give us a nice saman? I said, all right, if you want, you can have, but it disturbs the whole thing is working out right. Why do you want to have a saman like that? They said, we want to have a nice saman. You had a very heavy one that time. All these Kavin and all this were there, and I said,
No.
Raghav was not there. Yes, he was also for this. And I said it, I think. I don't know. Raghav came to me later on.
Raghav met you in 1975.
Yeah.
And I always remember when he came back to our chalet in the mountain, he told us, I have found the most beautiful person in my life, and all together we said, oh, you will get married, you will get married.
See, he came with a funny brain that time, all going like that. Oh,
My brother.
bodily also, physically, he was very extremely frantic. His brain was, because he was so frustrated in his people. At all, I felt his brain was broken into pieces like getting mad. Apart from that, you see, when he came, you see, Rajesh told him that we believe that she is the incarnation and she is the Sita. So he came with a scientific mind. And I am so simple, my household and all that. He just couldn't understand how can we create incarnation. You think incarnation must have a horn coming out of the noses? Imagine the God faced with such a big problem. Sit down like this and he would look at
We laugh when we listen to the cassette.
Oh yes, you tell him that. What did you say? Oh, he knows that. But as the number of Sahajogis increased in UK, I find it's easier Because their awareness is also touched. You see, they are all within me, and the more cells are there, I should say, which are so the thing can be communicated better. The more we have, the better it will be. That's how it has worked out. Imagine one article yoga today has done so much good. But they do not accept our articles. What to do?
Perhaps we could try perhaps in Switzerland once. If Gregor is in Switzerland once, and we can organize something with Mahila, or we can
Yes,
gather
try.
people from France to Christians and
Also come. You see, I'm thinking of
Perhaps
going
we
to
can
that
try.
place in October or something. October I can go there. October I can go to Paris in Europe. You see, Italy also, we have lots of seekers in Italy. Lots of seekers in Italy.
problem is with the Swiss people, they are like that, and
Oh, they are just like horses.
yeah, I think, oh yes.
Horses tied to a coach.
Yeah.
Blinkers, yes, blinkers. Yes.
Very
Horses,
good.
yes. Horses with the blinkers, you see. And Americans are without any girdle. Horses girdle on them. You see, no, nothing to control them. You see, that's Americans. You don't know how they will sit, which way they will come on you. You see, you don't know. They are most unpredictable people are Americans. That is their nature, very unpredictable.
But Americans are surely only Europeans.
Huh? They're very
I mean,
mature.
they're a polyglot society, and they've all got different
Absolutely.
cultures at conflict, presumably, is that it?
They're very mature, extremely mature, and you see, anybody can befool them. If you can pamper their ego, anybody can befool. You see, and what pampers them if you can sell things to them? Or they will purchase the gurus.
I think one thing is so interesting is this mad president now who is Baptist, and talking about Bible and God saving me to go to Egypt, President Carter. And since he's president, the United States is falling down and
You know,
falling down.
he is a Baptist or
Southern
something.
Baptist.
Yes, he's
that's
I don't know,
He's
Baptist.
possessed. All booths must be acting through him.
So it's very good. So America, since he's president of the United States, really America
Costing
is
dollars
falling
and
down.
everything. Yes, very true.
Yes.
One extreme to another extreme.
Yeah.
These are Baptists are horrible people. He calls himself twice born.
Yes. Yes.
But they're very mad. Very, very mad. They're so childish you can't. Very childish people. Even the greatest scientists I've seen are extremely childish there. 3 of them came to see me in India. And very serious, I said, now what do you want from me? You're a great scientist. Forgotten their names, big names they have. Oh, see, mother, we've come to you to learn something. I said, what do you want to learn from me? So they said, you see, you must teach us how to fly in the air.
What?
That I have to learn. Fly in the air. I said, that I have to learn from you. Why do you want to learn it from me? How can I teach you? He said, no, we want to fly like ESPs do. I said, what? He said, yes, that kind of travel we want to have, space travel. I said, really? Why do you do it? See? Why do you want to do it? They said, no, we want to have that mastery. I said, there's no mastery. Somebody else masters you. He pulls you out of the thing and he takes you down. We want to do that. They said, no, we must have it. Right? Supposing I tell you that you are mastered by others and you become slaves to others and this is supraconscious behavior and you should not have all these things. Still you will ask. I said, yes. I said, if it amounts to slavery? He said, yes, we don't want it. We don't mind. I said, why? See what they told me, that Russians are doing this kind of experiments. I said, they're parasite for me. Oh God, it's too much.
No.
You wanted to get the eggs?
The shop was open.
Too much for me, I don't eat any. This is the protein one?
No, that's the protein. Yeah. No, we got some eggs. Would you like a napkin or something?
It's all right.
I'm sorry we didn't offer you any breakfast earlier.
It's all right. I asked for it. Now I thought you must be thinking that the Mataji is fasting
We
day.
thought you were not eating breakfast. We fasting it. We should have asked you.
So I must show that food is important. You see, no fasting is needed in Sahaja. No fasting at any time.
What happened to the Americans? Or the American scientists? When they told you about the Russians, what happened next?
Yes. Then they said the Russians are finding out about this and we want to do that. What's it? Little shake. Just put it on that horrible David. Put your right. Put your right there. Left towards me. No. That way, yes, correct. Thank you. So, you see, they said, no, the Russians are doing it, so we must have it. I said, if the Russians are eating mud, will you eat mud? It is not mud. I said, it is. What's that? At least mud you can spit out. But this you cannot. It will go into your brains, it will ruin you. Russia will go down very soon, you will see that.
Russia.
Will go down. Because, you see, if you indulge so much in the spirits, what is going to happen? Spirits will sit on your heads and you will go down if they are doing like this. I said, I'm not sure.
They're doing a lot of that.
Huh?
Yeah, they're doing a lot of research.
Yeah, a lot of psychic research.
Parapsychology.
So, they said, still you must give us some notes. So I said, by the way, who told you about this, that I do all this nonsense? They said, Patanjali. Patanjali is a fellow who is we have got a correspondent in India. His name is Patanjali. So, he used to leave his body and get out of his house and get all the news before anybody else could hear.
It's David.
And he used to do that very often. Very often he has to do it. And he told his wife, so she did not believe, but then she tried lots of things and she found out he was out and all that. Bodily he was there, but mentally he could go. And so many things she told me. And she got a real fire. And she said, let's go to Mataji, she might cure you. So he came to me. I was literally shaking before. Literally shaking.
Really?
Horribly. Yes. He was shaking and shaking for at least, he must have kind of 5-6 times. Then I removed his bada and everything, gave him limes, this, that. Then he stopped doing all that. So I said, of all the persons, this horrible fellow, Patanjali, should tell you this. I have cured him. He wanted to get cured out of it. And now he is the one who is telling you. I said, look at this fellow. He wants you to have the disease.
What sort of tea would you like, Mother? Jasmine or ordinary tea?
Jasmine.
Jasmine.
This was the thing of these great scientists. I'd forgotten their name. They were very big scientists. And they would not listen to me. Of all the persons, Patanjali should tell them. We brought matka, we brought all these things just to be cured. All the limes he was bringing every time.
One thing is terrible with these people who believe to be very intelligent. What is very pity with these people who believe to be very intelligent, that they
Such fools.
Yeah, they know and they believe that they can rule and dominate the others because the intellect is the highest thing you can have in our society.
But they have done it already. And they have to receive back.
Yeah.
You see, then they must know now that intellect cannot rule. It's only love. It's only love. And yet if you see in your own life, who rules you? The one who loves you. See? Because you are afraid of losing the love, so you are always bothered about it. Better now. See the darkness in the center. See how it is accumulated. It has been there?
No, I burnt on the flame.
Is it? Still there?
It's just the smoke from the flame.
Alright, let's put it. You burned the sastara?
Yeah, I got it.
What happens? Better. You have to be careful. Your mother one side and David on the other side. Very frustrating. But transformation is the keynote of Surge Yoga. Everybody will get transformed. Even David would like to have transformation because you cannot carry on with that nonsense. It's a headache. I'm sure all the people from transcendental meditation know that it's a headache. When they are having a bad time, they don't want to accept it. To get possessed, it's terrible thing. Put up my left feet. Then it's alright, you can come. So this David has a left side problem. Mother, double one.
It's funny how I asked you before.
Oh God. I mean, I just thought that Bala would go very far high up if his mother comes. Come now. How are you feeling? Very cold?
Yes. Much better.
How are you?
Very well.
Good. Sit down, sit down. The first thing you ask in Sahaja Yoga, how do you feel? That's the main thing is, how you feel. Better now. See? This is the fellow horrible. You ever had this type of people in India? When I went to America, see, there was one lady, good. But you too, your mother's left navi.
Yeah.
She's
And
much better.
Right
too.
Sometimes I must take off.
You rub the left navi, I think, first to begin with. Rub this navi.
I think she's much better.
Much better. Yes. To the thumb. And I find the mother's institution here is very poor also, which is the source of all your strength. The mother's institution is not so strong. You have some good mothers also, but not very strong mothers. Because in India, a mother will never tell her troubles to her children. Never. Never. She would all bear it upon herself. She never wants to create malice or anything.
I can feel my left nabi in my body.
Huh?
I can feel it going.
Left nabi moving in your body, see? That is what it is. He's rubbing my left nabi there on your feet and he's feeling. Yeah. Are you all ready?
Yes, sir.
The fight's still going on. These, in the olden times when Rama was there, these Rakshasas used to enter into the clouds and things, would destroy the yajna. And it was a big problem. They would come and throw something filthy in the yajna to spoil their yajna. Rama had to protect, you see. That was there. And that's what it is, even today. Better now, see? How much better? See that. This was the left navi here. All the various planes of left navi. that also.